Some promises should never be broken.
Covenant Kids was a dream of Karen and mine that God really placed in our hearts to form a ministry to serve abused and neglected children.
We knew what children were all about, but I didn't really know the court system. And so I became a child advocate. And I worked with a group of children for a period of time to learn the court system.
We started in our living room in 2001, and it's really been blessed, and it's really grown dramatically since then. And till today, we now have 75 families and over 150 children in foster care. And last year alone, we served over 350 children. It's so important to Karen to make sure that we do everything at Covenant Kids beyond reproach in our clinical approach to dealing with children. She's a registered nurse by training. She's had years of experience of working with children in all different types of situations. And she's really excellent at putting together a clinical team that includes case managers and therapists and professionals, including psychiatrists and psychologists, to really work with these children in a comprehensive way and make sure that all of their needs are met.
I understand working with professionals. I've worked for many years with psychiatrists and psychologists, as well as therapists, as well as medical physicians. I understand diagnoses. So when I hear of a diagnosis, I know what it's going to take to treat that child.
Sadly, in the state of Texas, there's over 17,000 kids in foster care. Abuse and neglect is a huge problem within our entire society.
Well, some of these backgrounds, of course, so they vary from, drug environments to ones that have just been abandoned or they been just left out there alone to fend for themselves. Their families, for whatever reasons, have gotten sidetracked from maybe what their lifestyle should have been.
They're coming from horrific backgrounds, 90% of them are abused in some form. They're sexually abused, physically abused, mentally abused.
These children come from homes where their biological parents haven't been able to care for them. We see them coming from abused situations. We see them coming from maybe from the hospital, infants coming from the hospital having been removed at birth.
These kids are just that, kids. And most of them can't help the backgrounds from which they came. Some of them came from neglectful homes, abusive homes, situations where some were abandoned. So again, really circumstances out of their controls, and for the most part, they're just kids that need nurturing and love, and a little bit of guidance, direction, and some mentoring.
The mission of Covenant Kids is to embrace the total child, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and provide for their needs in all of those areas.
I think every child that is in foster care that we have been exposed to, the 3 kids that we've been exposed to, hearing what they were born into put them at risk. It's about bringing those children into good homes with people who have faith in God and giving them a safe place with people who are going to love them.
There's kids out there that are at risk. That's the bottom line. And that, it's going to take people who say, you know what, we're going to work with others. We're going to get in there through the spiritual realm, through prayer, through reading of our word, through the love of God, just really not just preaching it, but demonstrating it. And we're going to work with others to be able to see that come possible, and these kids have a chance to make it in life.
My wife and I, our faith was a very strong factor in what kind of organization we were looking for. We felt that it had to have the same core values in order for us to really give ourselves totally to it. One of the things that attracted us right away with Covenant Kids was after doing our homework on the agencies that were in the area, it stood out to us as being very Christ-centered. And that, to us, signified their commitment not only to the children, but also to, while they're here, but also to a life after this.
It was just the anointing that Karen and Bill had within them. Talking to them, and you can see that they love God, and they love to reach out and help people, and that's what we love to do. So it was easy for us to come together because we had the same vision as them, serving God and helping others.
The mission statement, I think, was real important to us. It is a faith-based organization, and just based on that alone, when you got the Lord on your side, how can you go wrong?
We're a full-service foster care and adoption agency. Covenant Kids works real hard to recruit families in the community. We recruit families through churches and through Child Protective Services, and we're looking for foster families that believe that foster care is an opportunity for them to do ministry right in their own home.
We work really hard in providing ongoing training for our foster families that is relevant to the needs of the children and relevant to the situations that they're facing in their homes. We hire top-notch consultants and top-notch professionals to provide ongoing training in the areas like ADHD and relevant to the other abuse that they've incurred.
One of the things I found about Covenant Kids, they provide the skills, the tools, the training, the quality people, professional people, the love, the environment, the atmosphere, anything and everything you possibly need. If we don't have it, if they don't have it, they'll reach outside or wherever they have to go to try to provide that so that we can be able to meet the needs of the kids that are coming in, because the kids have great needs, and it's a team effort. And that's one of the things I think I like most about Covenant Kids, is that it's a team effort.
We want families to be part of the Covenant Kids family. When families come through the training program here at Covenant Kids, we really try to give them all the tools necessary for them to be prepared to have a child in their home and to be able to understand how the system works, how Covenant Kids works, and what kind of supports we can offer them. The families that complete the training at Covenant Kids are then assigned a case manager, and that case manager is going to be an active part of their family. That case manager is going to be in their home on a regular basis, visiting the children, working with them, making sure that that child is linked with the services they need, making sure that child is receiving therapy, attending ARD meetings at the schools, helping them with meetings with Child Protective Services. If there's any court activity involved in that child's life, that case manager is going to be actively involved with that family.
Bill and I have the joy of being able to meet families in their own home, and oftentimes we'll hear what their vision is. And we want to have like visions. Covenant Kids wants to partner with families that have the same vision that we have. And a year later, I'll talk with that family, and I will say, is fostering or adoption anything like you thought it was going to be? And they'll say, it's beyond our wildest dreams. It's something that has been more emotional than we thought it was going to be, but it's also something that's been way more rewarding than we thought it was going to be.
We want to find a good match for those children. We want to put them in a home that has the strengths in the areas that the child needs improvement in. Maybe a child that is medically fragile, we want to place them with a family who has medical experience or is medically minded. Children who have educational difficulties, we want to place them in homes that have parents who are able to spend extra time working with them and finding the resources that they need to become successful in the school setting.
Emergency placements is that we'll take a kid anytime, whether it's 1 in the afternoon or 1 in the morning. It doesn't matter. And a lot of companies don't do that because they don't want that burden of having to get out of bed at 1 in the morning. But we have taken on that responsibility to do that, to do whatever it takes to place a kid. And it's hard to find a place for a kid at 1 in the morning. There are families available, but not many families are willing to do that. And that's one thing we ask our families to be open to.
To see them back with their families, to see them get adopted or go on to school, to continue their education, it's a great joy. It's a victory. It's really, to me, it's just to see them progress like that is success.
I truly know that through God all things are possible, and I know that we can help these children heal one day at a time. We can help them heal through miracles. We can help the foster families get through difficult situations. We've seen it happen.
Covenant Kids just wants to try and make a difference in the lives of these children, one child at a time.